94. Where they slaughtered the Edomites from Russia, slaughtered them. It says Psalms 94, O Yahweh, to whom vengeance belong to, O power, to whom vengeance belong to, show thyself, lift up thyself, thou judge, that earth render reward to the proud is Esau, so-called white man. Yeah, how long should the wicked, how long should the wicked triumph? How long should they utter and speak hard things? All the work of niggas boast themselves. They break in pieces thy people, O Yahweh, and afflict thy heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. All right. Yet they say Yahweh shall not see, neither shall the power of Jacob regard it. All right. So it's why the Russians slaughtered them, man. All right. It says, sea otters and fox furs have become prized courts in Europe and Asia. Siberian merchants became rich supplying. Even when the animals were on the verge of extinction, Russians did not stop their hunt. Instead, they simply began to look to new era to sport, having forced to participate in the slaughter of sea otter fox. The Lewis wisely did not reveal location of the fur seal islands, what they call Amek. However, this only forestalled and inventable. Having seen the animals in open water, Rush became obsessed with finding a place where they hauled up to breed, searching for the north and south of the Lure chain for 10 years, but finding nothing. On June 25th, 1786, the St. George, navigated by Jerusalem's period, came up an island rich in otters, foxes, furs, and sea lion water, what the Russians named after their ship. A year later, they found another island, which they called St. Paul. Lures were brought to the islands to harvest huge amounts of walrus, ivory, furs that was shipped back to Siberia. Soon other Russians were hunting in Pribilovs. All right. Within a year, sea otter population on the island had been decimated, and the Prussians turned their focus on fur seals once again. In spite of that warning, the Lures were forced to kill females and pups along with males each year. The fur seal population dwindled. In 1781, one of the Siberian merchants gained sole control of the hunting rights in Russia. Alaska for 20 years ordered most Russian fur hunters to leave. Not only did the merchants now have a monopoly on fur, they could easily rely completely on the cheaper forced labor, the Lewis. All right, see that? It says, pronounce it Promshchelikniki had to be paid an average of 300 rubles each year, while native hunters were paid in goods value less than 60 rupees. All right, see that? The loots were essentially slaves. However, their plight was not a common one. During the same period, Pueblo Navajo people was enslaved in the Spanish Southwest as Africans in the American South. They weren't African, man. These were Judites, man. These were Israelites. All right, and see that go with what's let me see Jeremiah. Let me see Jeremiah. Get there. Let me see Jeremiah. Let's see. Let go. I forget that. Damn. I think it's Jeremiah. That's a lot. Kind of lost my thought. Look for that scripture. But there's no scripture I'm looking for. Damn. 50. Yes, Jeremiah 50:33. All right. It says what? So you had Gad, you had Judah being enslaved, man. So what? Jeremiah 53 said, "Thus said Yahweh, host of children of Israel and children of Judah were oppressed together. All that took the captive held them fast. They refused to let them go." All right, so this is the southern kingdom, northern kingdom, been enslaved during the same period, man. The Gadites in the southwestern area, the Judites in the American South. All right, then the Gadites up further north, man, the Lewis. All right. So, all right. It says, let me see right here. It says, sadly, however, all right, I read that. All right, it said eventually the Russians found it more economical to create Inuit communities on St. Paul, St. George, rather than transporting hunters to islands each year during the breeding season. By 1864, the Russian government was looking forward to the device itself in American colony. The country's involvement in the Crimean War had been seriously drained on the imperial treasury each year. The fur seals harvest was becoming less profitable. In the United States, Secretary of State William Silver lobbied hard for Congress to approve the purchase of vast areas, spurred on by the doctrine of manifest destiny, fearing other interest parties, particularly Canada, might acquire Russians' American possessions. And the U.S. eventually bought it for about 2 cents an acre. In the process, the territory native people simply passed from one country to another. The rights never considered Alaskan natives as outraged but powerless. See that? But powerless. All right. All right. That's part of the curses, man. All right. All right. It says, by the time the U.S. took possession of U.S. took a possession of last territory in 1867, the Inuit population had been reduced less than 5,000 from an estimated height of 16,000 to 20,000 time bearers arrived. They had been murdered, enslaved, devastated by hunger and European disease, literally worked to death. One would have expected when arrival to America, the Inuits would have been freed from their bondage, but the change of government actually worsened their lot. All right. So let's see right here. It says that numbers dwindle. All right. This is the all right. This is, you know. All right, let me see something, and let me see there's what was that scripture at? All right. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28:6, it's saying you should be left in few number, whereas ye were as stars of the heaven multi, because thou was not obeyed the voice of Yahweh thy power. All right, so their numbers dwindle, man. All right. So right here it says, all right. It says right here, it says, it said one would have expected, but the arrival of American Lewis had been freed from the bondage, but the change of government literally worse that lot. All right. So although the treaty like serfs on the Tarsville, the Lewis had technically been Russian citizens over the time they adopted many aspects of Russian culture, including Russian names and Russian Orthodox Church. Man, see that? Like, come on, man. It says right here, it said Deuteronomy 28. All right. And then it says to lose thy heritage, man. It said Deuteronomy 28:64. It said, Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other, and thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers had known, even wood and stone. All right. That wood is Christianity, that stone is Islam, Buddhism. All right. Then you go right here. They even adopted Russian names, man. All right. Adopted Russian culture in their name. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. And then go with Jeremiah 17:4. All right. It says, let's see. It said fluent their own language and Russian. After the Treaty of Sessions, the Aleutians were forced to learn English or begin to speak Aleut. Within 2 years, all their dogs were killed with the excuse that doing so would protect the fur seals. Their guns were confiscated, making it difficult to hunt food. In addition, the Russian Orthodox Church school, by an important part of the culture, was ordered closed. It says when a representative of the U.S. government realized commercial value in the northern fur seal herd, they understood the importance of their native labor force. Although Aleuts were legally wards of the states, they continued to be treated like slaves. The U.S. government took almost 97% of profits from the fur trade, while Aleuts who did the work were given 3%. See that? Like the Russians before the Americans, over 100 seals, bringing them to even closer to extinction. Pilots stealing shooting animals from the decks of whaling ships further reduced the herd. The whalers became so on board they even attempted to land on the purpose, but the Aleuts fought them off, thus saving the seals. All right. It says in 1914, the U.S. Colony found made the Privilege Lewis legal residence on the island they had inhabited more than 100 years. All right. However, since the Lewis were once again being paid in goods rather than cash, they were virtually prisoners. The government represented instead, since the Lewis had always been free to leave. See that? Where they gonna go, man? Refusing to acknowledge they were bounded by economic rather than iron chains, many continued to feign ignorance of Lewis' doleful situation, despite the fact it had been clearly communicated to him. When Lewis sent a list of demands to Washington, D.C. in 1916, Treasury agent Henry Foster, who was assigned to the privilege attached a letter with Steve Barton, stated the government policy had forced the Lewis to live like slaves. It says, and finally in 1924, with the passage of the Census Act, the Lewis and Alaskan natives were granted citizenship. However, the suffering little people were not yet at end. All right. It said on June 3rd, 1942, the Japanese bombed Dutch Harbor in the Aleutians. By June 16th, U.S. military transport ship arrived at St. Paul Island. The inhabitants were given one evening to pack their belongings on St. George. The people were given 1 hour. More than 500 Louis were forced to leave their homes, having no idea where they were being taken. They were finally deposited in Furta Bay in southern eastern Alaska, where they remained for 2 years, living in an abandoned cannery, no running water, efficient food, inadequate sanitation, almost no Medicare. Some of the people Louis enlisted in the military, others, though forbidden to do so, made a 4-hour trip to June to find work. Once the war was over, they were returned to the island. The people were no longer willing to let others control their destiny. In spite of that, they remained enslaved to the fur seal trade. All right, it said 1934, the Indian Recognition Act had guaranteed the native people important rights, but had no effect in its privilege until the 1950s. Also, in 1951, the privileged Aleutians sued the federal government for their land rights for compensation for injustice perpetrated against them. The suit was not settled until well to 1970. It took more than 230 years of Aleutians to regain their ancestral lands that had been stolen from them. Shocking, it was not until 1966 the Aleutians were freed from the servitude to the U.S. government by passing the Fur Seal Act. The law forbade killing of fur seals and privilege with the exception subsistence hunted by Alaska Native. The termination of fur seal trade meant the end of Aleut slavery. All right. So there you go, man. So from, let's see what year they was enslaved by Esau. All right. So 1772 to 1966. Let me see how many years that was, man. All right. Let's see. Damn, come on. See that? Now the calculator ain't working. All right. Whatever, man. All right. All right, so 1772 minus 1966. That's right. So it's 194 years. Yep. 194 years they've been enslaved. Alright, but anyway, Jake wasn't freed any damn way. The emancipated progress, so we still enslaved, man. Yeah. Let's see, 1970s. Yeah. They still say, cause they was really free, they would give them their land, everything, get the hell up out of there. You know, but Esau, he ain't gonna do that. He'll give Alaska back to indigenous people for Alaska. So, you know, he's still enslaved, man. Slavery ain't meant they free. You know, I mean, shit. Alright, so right here, I'm gonna show you where it's at. And until you score that damn 400 years, ain't talking about America, he was talking about in Egypt, man. So you gone with that mess. Alright. So right here, let's see, so old group got on that now 194 years of slavery, right? So right here, look at the, let's see right here, go back to Eskimo dolls. And you know, we're talking about the eyelids, all that stuff, man. It's you know, Jeremiah 12 and 9, man, Most High. You know, he says Jacob is a speckled bird, man. You know, talking about the slanted eyes and stuff, man. You know, but it's something interesting I'll show you. You know, cause you know Esau, he don't tell us everything, man. You know. Let's see what's going down. Alright. You see right here how they make them dark skin around their eyes and stuff. Some that's slanted eyes. You know, they been making dolls themselves, but Esau took it and marketed it, you know. Alright. Then again, why would Esau paint them like that? Unless he seen something that looked like that, man. Alright. So real, man. Alright. This go back. Talking the dolls made by Esau. Go back to Deuteronomy 28:37, Psalms 44:14, man. Alright. These people are the Israelites that the Bible speak of. Alright. That. Good, he's smiling with the chin guy, brick red lips. Yeah, with that manual, man. You know, Judah with the dolls. Alright. So, you know, this is, man, Shalom. This is a long series, man. I got to revisit this again, man. Because some more history to this, you know. So, you know, man, this, Shalom, you know.